Oh, it's that time of year again. Spotify Wrapped. The people come through and share their favourite and most played music of the year. For some reason, they stop it in like October and release it at the end of November, so it isn't the full year. But we move, we forget that, and we look at the fun that brings together the people and their music tastes. We also have the naysayers that always come through at this time of year and go, Spotify only play artists, blah, 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 which... I'm being facetious. That is a very important thing to talk about. It's just always funny seeing that come through whenever Spotify Wrap comes in. It's important. We need to talk about it, but let's have fun first and look at your Spotify Wrapped lists, just like we did last year. And unlike last year, I got like 100 and something replies this time. It was insane how many I got. Last year I got like 30 replies. I was like, this is fine, I'll take that. I'm glad people have replied, it's manageable. But this time I couldn't quite believe how many people replied. So I am so sorry. I can't include every single one as you would expect. It's just too many. I didn't anticipate that. I will do as many as I can. And I've picked out lots and lots here. So hopefully you still have a fun time watching the video. But please just don't be upset if you weren't included. It's just so many. I didn't expect it. Maybe next year I'll anticipate that many and maybe I can do something about it. Maybe do, I don't know. We can look into it. But this time I was just like, whoa. So let's get on with it. Again, if you're not included, please try to understand that this was just a lot. And yeah, let's have fun. Addison to start with here with 173,000 minutes listened. That is a lot. I listen to a lot of music myself, but I haven't touched those numbers. Not even close, actually, according to my Apple Replay, which I'll do a video on that at some point as well. But yeah, wow, lots of rock, alternative kind of artists here. Black Midi, we got Black Country New Road topping the songs list as well. They're not on the artist list, but clearly this kind of music is very appealing to this person here, Addison. I also am a fan of these bands too. Radiohead at number 1. Always interesting to see an artist at number 1 that hasn't dropped music for a while. That just goes to show how big their fan bases are to have that kind of support. Very similar this next person. I mean, it's kind of funny how the same song is top of both lists, and they're both from 2022. Black Country New Road. I love the juxtaposition of Black Country New Road and Quero Quero Bonito at 1 and 2 from Alexander here. Someone is a Fantano fan. Yeah, alternative rock, similar minutes listened, or should I say gelistuterd Minuten listened as the previous person. 154,000 listens. You people go hard in the paint when it comes to listening to music. I respect it. Okay, this is Ben next, a real life good friend of mine. In fact, Ben, with Kylie Minogue at number 1 and Charlie XCX at number 2, Taylor Swift at number 3, Hachi at number 4, love to see that, and Caroline Polachek as well, love to see that. Girly girls dominate this list. Monday Blues is the top song, cracks me up though. I just love how much she loves that song. It's so funny to me. It's a fun little song. It just makes me laugh. Padam Padam in there as well. Holiday by Confidence Man. Not in the top 5, but Confidence Man are in the top 5 songs. We love to see it. Yeah, really good list. Not very diverse, but we don't worry about that. The previous rock one wasn't diverse either. But lots of good picks here. Cool to see Hachi maintaining that love. We love to see that. Okay, this was an interesting one to pick out next because I was expecting to see way more SZA on people's lists, but this was one of the only ones that was sent to me that had SZA on. Maybe it's just people that aren't following me that have listened to a lot of SZA, but she had a huge year and a huge past couple of years actually, and obviously is now up for a Grammy, like pretty huge stuff. But yeah, only person that I saw SZA at the top artist. Also top song too. But yeah, in terms of like the artists like Troye Sivan, Doja, Kehlani, Charlie, a lot of the top songs don't match that. We've got August, which is Taylor Swift, got Angel from the Barbie soundtrack, obviously Kill Bill twice from SZA. But yeah, interesting. I like the diversity when ones like this pop up where you've got totally different artists and totally different songs. It's always interesting. Another friend of mine, Connor, my boy, here with just a lot of rock and post-hardcore, as you can see from the top genre on this list. Johnny Foreigner, do like that band. I love how Connor reps those guys. The Weaker Thans, Motor Psycho as well. Yeah, this is very, very rock heavy, and not really much new music either. Again, always find that interesting when you get these kinds of older bands popping up way more than newer music on these lists. Okay, Emmy with 100 Gex. That is an artist I've seen a lot on people's lists. 100 Gex this year really come through on a lot of lists. Kero Bonito again, Blade and JPEG Mafia and My Bloody Valentine. Top genre being rap though, I love that. Like, only Peggy there really could be considered rap. I suppose Blade in some ways is affiliated with rap. But yeah, Dumbest Girl, Alive, Only Acting. 91,000 minutes listened. That's a lot. A lot for 100 Gex. Lots of minutes on 100 Gex, I'd imagine there. Wow. We've got Henos next with King Gizzard and Lizard Wizard. Somebody noticed that I mentioned their name wrong in one of the previous videos where I said Wizard, Lizard. Lizard Wizard. I'm even confusing myself with this now. Billy Woods in there. Young Fathers, love to see that. FK Twigs and Queens of the Stone Age. See, this one makes more sense to me because the 3 out of the 5 have had albums this year, so it always lines up more in a sensical way to me. Although King Gizzard dropped like 5 albums every year, so that's always just going to be the case, isn't it? I Saw in the songs list too. Love that from Young Fathers. Yeah, pretty cool list. Jack again with Young Fathers, another friend of mine here. Smashing Pumpkins, I remember him saying he was really getting into them this year, and Tonight is his top song. 95,000 minutes listened to, that's impressive. Ethel as well from, I think, the Murder Capital. They don't make the list here, but an interesting one to have. Nick Cave, love to see that. Aphex Twin. Slow Dive, actually quite a diverse 5 there. Lots of artists that don't really sound like one another at all, to be fair. Yeah, cool list. We got Keegan, the famous Keegan from Twitter, with his top 5 artists that are not even remotely close to being affiliated with rap music at all, and yet his top genre is rap. Now, how did we get there? I don't know, but the top song is the Songs Ohio song, Knife Party, which is the Deftones song. Love to see Deftones at someone's number 1. I'm a big fan of Deftones. Lots of Radiohead and Slow Dive kind of popping up on people's lists this year. That's an interesting one. I suppose Radiohead are always going to be thereabouts for a lot of people because they are so beloved, especially amongst like music nerd circles. They just have insane longevity. And we'll always have that, I think, because people are just so dedicated to what they do, even if they don't drop for years. Yeah, interesting. This one's pretty funny to me because the entire top 5 songs is from that Lil Yachty album, and Lil Yachty ends up being 3rd. There are 2 artists above him, and yet every song is from the most recent Lil Yachty album where he went in that kind of psychedelic rock experiment thing that he did. That's so funny to me. JPEG Mafia at number 1. Interesting stuff. Tyler at number 2. Love to see that. Tyler's high on my list this year as well. Trippie Redd and Kanye in there. Also, I guess, yeah, Trippie Redd's had a pretty big year with releases. It makes sense that he'd make it in here. Although I didn't think people were into what he was doing, but clearly this person is on board with it. This, again, is so funny to me with hip-hop being the top genre, but somehow Ichiko Aoba is the top artist. We've got friggin' Laufey in there as well, Lamp. And then I think that's the band Mass of the Fermenting, blah blah blah. That band, they're pretty cool actually. I always forget what their name is, but yeah, nothing to do with hip hop. I don't know if Spotify Wrapped ever get these things 100% accurate, because sometimes I do question it. Leon next with Travis Scott at number 1. Of course, Utopia came out this year. Although actually, is Utopia even featured in the songs? No, there isn't a Utopia song there, I don't think. Long Season though? Is that Long Season? The friggin' long season? The classic Long Season? That's pretty cool if that's that one. Maybe it's based on minutes played then, and that's how that's got in there. Unless this guy's just playing Long Season constantly, which is pretty cool. Kero Bonito again. What is with Kero Bonito popping up on these people's lists that are clearly into like more alternative music, but then they keep popping up? I'm telling you, man, it's the Fantano effect. He gave you all the ingredients to be a Kero Kero Bonito stan. Mac Miller in there, West Side Gun right next to Kero Kero Bonito, and Blade 2. Top genre rap. I mean, yeah, sure, in that list, of course it is. Liran here with literally a hip-hop heavy top 5 artists and songs, and somehow there isn't even a genre for this one. Does Spotify just kind of make things up as they go along? Kendrick Lamar being there, Drake at number 5, of course, he dropped an album this year. Pretty big fan of his songs list, so that is a really cool songs list with B from Common, love that track. Accordion, Mad Villain, love that. And then, of course, Money Trees and Father Time, which are 2 of the best Kendrick Lamar songs. Yeah, I'm into this one. This is one of my favourites as well. Like, the diversity in artists here is great, but also how many Geese songs made it into the top 5. This guy was spamming Geese this year, and I am all for it because Geese are so good. But then at number 4, we've got I've Been Young by George Clanton sneaking in. That's one of the best tracks of the whole year. Love to see that in there. But then, of course, you've got Samford, Janelle Monáe, The Strokes, MF Doom. What a diverse array of stuff in the artist list. I'm a big fan of seeing that. Nick again this year, similar to last year, he's coming through with the classic 90s rock bands in his top 5. He will never change. This man is stuck in his ways. He knows what he likes, and he will always have Pavement in his top 5. We've also got Guided by Voices. We've also got friggin' Ween in here. But we do have Animal Collective. I assume he was a big fan of that new Animal Collective album, which was, to be fair, a good one. And then the Wrens at number 1, a very Nick list. You've got to hand it to him, to be fair. We got Noah here with a top 5, including Drake. He even said in his tweet that he couldn't quite believe Drake made it in his top 5. I'm also surprised because I didn't know he was that big of a fan of Drake, but clearly he is. Danny Brown in there too, of course, just dropped Toronto recently. Although that wouldn't have counted to his numbers, so he is obviously listening to a lot of Danny Brown regardless of that new album, because that just came out and we know Spotify stopped counting. So pretty impressive to have Danny there even without the new album. Lil Yachty making it in the songs as well a couple of times. Although, is that running out of time, the Paramore running out of time, or is that the running out of time by Lil Yachty? Because I'm kind of wondering if that is right. Maybe you can tell me, Noah, in the comments, because I'm not sure. Danger Mouse, of course, and then JPEG Mafia again at somebody's number 1. Not the biggest fan of Peggy. I think people are aware of that. He even thinks, I think he knows I am not a fan of him because he blocked me on Twitter. I don't think I've ever tweeted him before, but, you know, that's just the way things go. But, yeah, I can see it, though. He obviously has a lot of music that people really love and think, you know, I think it's quite replayable for a lot of people, so it makes sense to see him at number 1 for some out there. Okabe next. Okabe, we've got Okabe. We've got Lord in the top 5. Kendrick, Ariana. She didn't even drop anything this year, fair enough. Lana and Björk. Fair play. In fact, Lord didn't drop anything this year. That's interesting. Yeah, he's obviously a big fan of these artists. A&W in the top 5 songs as well. Of course, a Grammy-nominated A&W now. Liability Reprise in there. Mostly pop here. Yeah, cool stuff. Speaking of making up genres, what is Escape Room? What is that? What is Escape Room? That's not a thing. That's not a thing. Is Blood Orange considered Escape Room now? Is Biba Doobie considered Escape Room? No. We've also got Lana Del Rey in there, Steve Lacy, Kalela. Lovely to see Kalela. Raven came out this year. A really nice album from her. Not seen her pop up in many top 5s though, but this is one where I have seen her. Escape Room though, need to think about that one. Sarah next with easily the most obscure Spotify Wrapped I've seen so far, with 454 at number 1. Vale Smith at number 2. Love to see somebody repping Vale Smith. I know Sarah, we talk a little bit, and yeah, very big fan of Vale Smith. It makes sense, but still great to see. Violet Ponies, I don't know if you say it like that, Violet Pony. Not the biggest fan of what I've heard from them, but again, quite obscure. And then Tisa Korean, wow. Fair play to Sarah here. We've even got 2, I think maybe even 3 tracks from friggin' Vale Smith in the top 5. Love that. Don't get hurt. Make sure you listen to that track. That's a great track from this year. Yeah, very, very niche stuff here. Another friend in real life here, Steve. Used to live with Steve, actually. And he's got the Beatles at number 1. Men I Trust at number 2. Never knew he was a Men I Trust fan. I do like some of the stuff I've heard from them, actually. I know they've been sampled in a few tracks randomly over the years as well, particularly like hip hop tracks, which is quite cool. Arctic Monkeys number 3, of course. Last Shadow Puppets and Fontaine's DC at number 5. Very rock heavy. Billy Toppy, the Men I Trust song, is number 1. I do quite like that track. I'd actually listened to The Ocean before I did this video. That's a good track. I really quite rated that as well. That's not by any of these artists in here, but that was a good track. And of course Glass Onion, Hell Skelter by the Beatles in the top 5 too. Yeah, very much what I'd expect from Steve. But yeah, apart from Men I Trust, didn't think I'd see them in there. We've got Tomek again with some Geese representation in the top 5 songs. Cowboy Nudes and 3D Country, but they're not in the top 5, which is interesting. But then at number 3 we got Fam Jam 4000. What a track that is from Jordan Ward, one of my favourite songs of the year. If you haven't heard that song yet, please check it out. It's a great little tune. Only from Sampha, and then Sunset, Caroline Polachek. Probably out of all the top 5 songs I've seen so far, this might be the best one, because that is a really strong top 5. All killer there, no misses. The best Sampha song from the new album, some of the best tracks from the Geese album, one of the best Caroline Polachek's tracks, and then of course Fam Jam 4000, which is just excellent. Yeah, I'm a fan of this. And then Sonic Youth at number 1. You wouldn't be able to guess that number 1 artist from looking at those songs at all, would you? Okay, last one for this video then. We're looking at a very indie folk chamber pop heavy list with somehow Billy Woods just making its way in there, with Iron and Wine, Adrian Lenker, and then of course The Big Thief, and then Fleet Foxes at number 1. Love to see Fleet Foxes. Very low minutes listened list though here, 7,100. But yeah, Walter's Ringer from Twitter here obviously got some tracks from the Big Thief album, and then also the Adrian Lenker solo work. Clearly a massive fan of that, because that's made its way there into the list. I'm a massive fan of that too. Yeah, just a very wholesome list here, very wholesome stuff. And then Billy Woods being the random outlier. And that's it from me. I had a great time there reading through your Spotify Wrapped list this year. It was another really fun year of looking through everyone's most played music. I hope you had a good time looking at these as well. And yeah, keep listening to the music, keep checking out new stuff, and keep the music love going, because we all love music and it's all great to see. Again, apologies if I couldn't quite get time to react to yours. I've done as many as I could here, but thank you for contributing. And if you were in the video, I will make sure I share this around and try and tag you in it if you were in it as well. And yeah, that's it from me. Check out my Patreon if you want to support me over on there. Join the Discord server and subscribe as well. That would be wonderful to see you subscribe. Like the video, share it around. Have a good day. Goodbye.